The Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by Chevy, the Florida Lottery, Best Parts, Best Prices, Bennett Auto Supply, Contender Boats, Performance Through Innovation, Navionics, We Start Where the Roads End, and Guy Harvey, artist, explorer, marine scientist, conservationist, and diver.
Want the power of a V8 with the highway fuel economy of a V6? Yes, sir. 40,000 more warranty miles than an F-150 work for you?
Sure does.
And you get 2 years of scheduled maintenance.
Nice. Copy that.
Sold.
Chevy Silverado. Right now, get 0% financing for 60 months, plus Chevy truck owners can trade up for an additional $3,000 total cash allowance, or Chevy truck owners trade up to get a $1,000 loyalty cash for a total value of $8,500.
Continuing the revolution. Faster, drier, even better built. Designed around Yamaha's latest technology outboards. Still built by the same craftsmen and anglers who launched the Bay Boat Revolution. Whether chasing world records, or time on the water with the family, or anything in between, there's a new Pathfinder model for you. Pathfinder, #1 for a reason, still.
Imagine brighter futures, where doors open for Florida students every day. Imagine building a better tomorrow, where playing means we all win. Now celebrating $25 billion to education in 25 years. The Florida Lottery, just imagine.
It's 200 streamlined horsepower of Yamaha forward thinking. The all-new F200 inline 4-stroke. Whether you're an offshore angler, pontoon cruiser, bay boater, or walleye hunter, the responsive and fuel-efficient F200 combines amazing power and versatility in one incredibly compact and lightweight package. The all-new F200. Legendary Yamaha reliability and the freedom of forward thinking.
Make sure you check out our website at the Chevy Florida Insider FisheryReport.com, where you can get daily reports from our 9 captains. Also, just a reminder, if you would like to be featured on our show, upload your best shots with our themed species of the week to our Facebook page. If you do, you might just find your picture featured right here on the show. All right, now traveling all the way south to our La Jolla region in the Florida Keys is where we find Captain Randy Tao. Randy, you say red fishing can be decent right now, especially since not that many folks are out for them specifically in your region. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Hey guys, good evening. You know, the red fishing in my region from Islamorada to Flamingo has been very consistent. Now, all year we've had good red fishing, and a lot of our bonefish flats that we've had kind of close to Islamorada have been replaced with redfish instead of bonefish right now. So there's quite a few redfish stretched out. If you're going to Flamingo, that's probably the most consistent place to go to find a redfish, up on the flats or on the edges of the channels, especially with the lower tides. We've had some real low tides this week due to the wind. We've had some pretty strong winds, and it's blowing all the water out. So the low tides have been extremely low with no water on the flats at all. So there's really no water to pull around on, and a lot of the guys are fishing around some of the channels and the deep water moats around some of the islands and having some pretty good red fishing. Now, you know, our red fishing's been really good for the last few years due to possibly that cold weather we had, and the redfish have come back really strong. A lot of the guys like to throw a shrimp or a Trigger X on a 1/4 ounce hookup. That seems to be one of the best things you can throw around my region for the redfish.
All right, Randy, let's stay inshore. What else you got in your region?
Tarpon fishing, Rick, you know, it's that time of year, and I would say this week the gates have opened and the tarpon have come to town. A lot of tarpon around, all around the bridges in the backcountry. I got some reports. Captain Greg Poland was telling me he was fishing Channel 2, Channel 5 bridge. A great bite late in the afternoon on crabs, and if you can find the mullet, they're biting the mullet as well, but it seems like a lot of the guys are using crabs. In the morning and late in the afternoon has been really good. Now, the backcountry as well has had a lot of tarpon. You know, the fly fishing guys are starting to take advantage of this because the more tarpon show up, the more the fly guys have a chance of catching these fish. and they're just now starting to trickle down some of the oceanside flats, and we're just in the beginning stages of a great tarpon season. It looks like this year there are going to be a lot of fish around.
All right, let's go offshore, bud.
You know, the dolphin fishing right now, it isn't red hot, but there's some dolphin around. It's a little bit late, really. Normally by April, we've got some decent dolphin fishing. There's been a current edge offshore in about 300 or 400 feet of water, and this edge has had some birds on it, and there's been some good dolphin. No real big ones, but the guys are trolling their ballyhoos along this current edge and looking for birds. You always want to be ready with a pitch rod, either with a ballyhoo, a flying fish, or a live bait if you have them. And also some of the rips out in the deeper water, 600 feet, there's been some real nice rips out there due to the heavy current. We've had a very strong Gulf Stream this week, and it's pushed in over those rips. So it's kind of choppy. You can certainly see the whitecaps when you get offshore. You want to look for those birds because the birds are going to be the key to finding those bigger dolphins.
All right, what other pelagics you got swimming in the Keys?
You know, when you're dolphin fishing, you're going to run across a wahoo. That's just the way it is this time of year. You're going to be dolphin fishing. You put a bait down a little bit deeper, maybe 5 feet, 20 feet down, and you get in that beautiful blue water, or you get on a nice rip, and you're gonna catch a wahoo. They're out there, or anything floating like a piece of debris. You're going to want to troll by it, or you're going to drop a diamond jig or a butterfly jig down, drop it down 100 feet or so, and work it back up to the boat, and I'll bet you get a bite from a wahoo. I've got a picture of a good buddy of mine, Chip Costantini from Orlando. This is one of the wahoos we caught over the weekend, and notice how rich and blue the water looks.
Now, Randy, I got a question for you. My question is, you talked about working that jig underneath the floating debris for the wahoos. How do you like to work the jig? Fast, slow, twitch, yank? How do you like to do it?
You know, there's several ways, Rick. Guys like to jig them. They jig it, they wind down, they jig it, they wind down. You know, those jigs, I think, are designed to go pretty fast. It's not a slow-moving lure going through the water. So my best success has been retrieving it fairly fast and working it back up to the surface quickly, and then dropping it back down again and doing it over.
All right, another question for you, Randy. You know, a lot of guys come to the Florida Keys to tarpon fish, whether they come from Tampa or Jacksonville. I mean, no doubt it's the fly fishing mecca for tarpon. So my question is, how can guys get information about what's going on with the migration, whether it's the ocean side or the backcountry? How about our website? Can they go there and listen to your audio reports?
Absolutely. You know, I give an audio report weekly on what's going on. I'm talking about the most recent activity. I'm on the water every day. I can certainly answer any questions. I can help anybody that's looking for any questions around the bridges or the backcountry. And we've got a lot of information on there. It's current. It's updated every day.
And they certainly can stop by your store. Where do they find that?
I'm at mile marker 83 on the Bayside, Florida Keys Sunwear. You can't miss it. Stop by. I'd love to share what's going on, what's biting, and any help I can give you.
All right, great report from the La Jolla, Florida Keys region. I'm going to go ahead and get to the hot spots from Randy's region. In short, tarpon drift around the bridges with live crabs or mullet and use no more than 60-pound leader because of the clear water, guys. And then offshore, dolphin. Look for those current edges in 400 feet of water, and the birds troll ballyhoo till you find the fish. That seems to be pretty easy, don't you think?
Yeah, cinchy.
Yeah.
All right, now it's time to check in and see what tournaments are going on in the Keys. First off, benefiting the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, the Redbone At-Large Sunrise Sunset Tarpon Tournament is set for April 26th to the 28th in Isla Mirada. Anglers fish early morning and early evening hours, normally the most optimum time for tarpon. Also, the Mother's Day Dolphin Tournament in Marathon is scheduled for May 10th and 11th. It features $5,000 for the heaviest dolphin caught and benefits Habitat for Humanity of the Middle Keys. Next up is the Faro Blanco Tournament, Invitational Tarpon Tournament, scheduled for May 13th to the 17th, which helps fund the Ronald McDonald Summer Camp Program for disabled youngsters. And lastly, more than $35,000 in cash and prizes awaits anglers at the 20th Annual Big Pine in the Lower Keys Dolphin Tournament, set for May 17th to the 19th. The event's special celebrity angler is none other than the Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report's very own Captain Rick Murphy.
Wow, right. I can't wait. They put me up at Royal Palm Island. Oh my goodness.
Celebrity treatment.
Spoiling me. Andy Newman, he's spoiling me.
He does, yeah. Let's do it. Let's hand it over to Andy Newman in the Florida Keys to find out about the featured tournament. Hey, Andy.
Hello, Lauren. Let's talk a little bit about some more dolphin tournaments. It's the Marathon Offshore Bull and Cow Dolphin Tournament. It's set for May 2nd through the 5th in the Middle Florida Keys. There's $25,000 in cash and prizes and a $10,000 first place prize for the team catching the largest bull and cow combined. Now, this offshore bull and cow dolphin tournament, it's organized by Big Time Bait and Tackle in Marathon. And more details on this tournament and other events in the Keys can be discovered on that Florida Keys website. It's flakeys.com. And one more quick announcement here. This Saturday morning, the Big Pine and Lower Keys Rotary Club and the Monroe County Sheriff's Office are staging a free kids bridge fishing tournament on the old wooden bridge in Big Pine Key. Every entrant gets a free rod and reel fishing combo. It's theirs to keep, and there's other prizes as well. Rick?
How old you got to be one of those kids, Andy?
Hey, Rick, I think that you're going to qualify.
All right, thanks, bud. Great report this week from the Florida Keys, La Jolla region. I'm going to go ahead and get to the, what am I getting to?
Well, actually,
you're in charge.
Yeah, I am in charge, if you don't
All
mind.
right, tell me.
Dave, I think you're old enough. At 29, you probably qualify.
I can do it.
All right, gang, next we're going to head to the Northeast region. Captain Russell Theron, you say that the best time for redfish in your region may actually be a little later in the year, but what can you share with us about redfish right now?
Hey, Lauren. Well, I tell you what, red fishing is probably one of the most popular species, or most targeted species here in Northeast Florida. Of course, they're known also here locally. Some of us would refer to them as red bass, and some people even call them spot tails. But I had a great pleasure this week talking to Captain Tony Bozzella. And Captain Tony Bozzella is a great red fisherman and inshore guide here in Northeast Florida. Now, he said he loves to catch redfish all year round. His favorite months to target the redfish specifically is October, November, and December, and January. Now, what Captain Tony told me he's looking for is he likes to find outflows with clear current where the redfish will congregate and feed. Captain Tony likes to fish at least about 3 hours of the ebb tide and the first hour of flood as it starts coming in after the dead low. Now, he likes to use, and he has his own custom-made TBS jigs that really work good. Also, as the tide rises, Captain Tony says he likes to switch over to spoons and spinner baits for fishing the grass lines. Later in the tide, he loves to switch and use topwater plugs at least the last hour of the flood and the first 3 hours of the ebb. Captain Tony's all-time favorite topwater plug is a silver and black fighter bait called the Fighter, and it's also sold at the Strike Zone. Captain Tony told me he always uses braided lines and rigs them with at least 30 inches of fluorocarbon leader on his jigs, lures, and plugs. Now, Captain Tony has a great deal at the Strike Zone, and that's his Redfish Pro Pack. This is 6 black bucktails from 1/8 to 3/8 inch inside, and like I said, they're sold at the Strike Zone, and this is a great little pro pack. Typical size redfish in our area are definitely going to run anywhere from 3 to 7 pounds.
What else is happening inshore, bub?
Inshore, there's sheephead fishing. You know, our water temperatures inside we've been having some cold, and the fish are still, the sheephead are still doing really good, even though we're here in mid-April. The best is stocked throughout the region. Now, target the jetties, the pilings. You want to fish the rock piles, the bridge pilings, dock pilings, anything like that where you've got barnacles, oysters, and stuff, good structure. Best time to fish is during the moving tide where the water's clean. Now, what you want to use is like a Carolina rig with just enough weight to hold the bottom. Now, the leader should be a little less strength because if you break off, then you don't have to replace your sinker and your swivel. So you want to rig that up with a little bit less line for your leader, maybe a 1 or 2/0 Kale hook. Now, the best bait, of course, is a fresh oyster, a fresh clam, and a live fiddler. Typical sheephead are being caught right now through our region are running anywhere from 3 to 8 pounds.
All right, let's bounce offshore, Russell.
Buddy, I love to talk about offshore because I got to call my buddy Dave Workman Jr. Now, Dave was telling me about the wahoo fishing, and they've had some good catches of wahoo fishing when the wind and seas would lay down. During the periods that it's been good, most of the fish are being caught anywhere from 160 to 180 foot of water on the Continental Break, better known as the Ledge here off of Northeast Florida. Now, their high-speed trolling is working best, especially if you're tournament fishing for wahoo. But, if you just only want to catch wahoo, that, again, you want to do that high-speed trolling. Now, the best bite has been coming from a purple and a black sea witch. Most of the wahoo typical size are running anywhere from 40 to 50 pounds. Now, also offshore, there's been some good dolphin fishing showing up. They've said that the dolphins are on the ledge, and they're on anywhere from 160 foot and out. Now, what you want to look for are the tide lines and the temperature breaks that are in the mid-70s. Our sea buoy here off of Fernandina is showing 67 degrees. So basically, that's almost like an 8-degree difference in water temperature change, and that's why it's so good fishing our ledge out here, because that's where that's where everything, the bait and the warm water is all stacked up. What you want to look for are the birds, debris. You want to look for bait and fish the clear side of the tide line. You want a slow troll for dolphin, maybe 7 or 8 knots. You might want to use a blue and white Islander lure, or a skirted ballyhoo or a naked ballyhoo will get the bite. Typical size of the dolphin in our area, Rick, are running anywhere from 10 to 25 pounds, bud.
All right, Russell, I have a comment, but not a question. Make sure you tell Tony I'm going to send him a bill for that Tony Bozzella infomercial, okay, bud? All right, we're going to go ahead and talk to you next week. I'm going to go ahead and get to the strike zone hotspots from the Northeast region. All right, Captain Russell said target sheep's head on the jetty, bridges, dock pylons. Best bait is to use a fresh oyster, a clam, or a live fiddler crab. And then offshore, best wahoo bait is on the ledge and out by high-speed trolling with purple and black sea witch lures, Lauren.
All right, guys, when we return, we will have the Costa Conservation Minute and pay a visit to the Southeast. Stick around.
The Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by Rapala. Catch the latest at Rapala.com. Reactor, the best-built performance sports watch, period. StarTron, cures and prevents ethanol fuel problems. Strike Zone Fishing. Suffix, the world's most hardcore fishing line. And Yamaha, reliability starts here.
At highway speeds, things can get pretty windy. That's why the Chevrolet Cruze Eco has active aero grille shutters that close at higher speeds to improve aerodynamics. With an EPA estimated 42 miles per gallon highway, the Chevrolet Cruze Eco offers the best highway fuel economy of any gas engine in America, always thinking of ways to give you more while using less. That's American ingenuity to find new roads.
Imagine brighter futures, where doors open for Florida students every day. Imagine building a better tomorrow, where playing means we all win. Now celebrating $25 billion to education in 25 years. The Florida Lottery, just imagine.
Have you ever wanted to go to a place where the fish are big and wild? Have you ever wanted to fish a flat and never see anyone else? Have you ever wanted to dive your very own tropical reef? Have you ever wanted to watch the sun go down on a 90-foot mothership with 10 of your friends? Sea Hunter, the ultimate Caribbean adventure.
You already know about the La Jolla Resort in Isla Mirada, so let's talk about the La Jolla experience. With an on-site boat ramp, the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic is just minutes away. And when you return from fishing, there's barbecue pits to cook your catch while your family enjoys the pool or one of our new remodeled rooms. This historic resort, the La Jolla, is family-owned and operated and has a friendly staff ready to make your La Jolla experience a really great one.
You know there's more to it than luck. There's fishing the right bait, the water temperature, the wind, the season, and then there's the boat. We'll put it simply, the boat matters. To own a Contender is to own the best sport fishing boat on the market, period. Contender offers the most comprehensive model range with bigger, faster, and more fuel-efficient boats than the competition. There's only one choice for serious anglers, Contender boats. Performance through innovation.
The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission wants your help in removing lionfish from Florida waters. Interested in helping? Lionfish can be speared or caught in handheld nets, and a recreational fishing license is not required while targeting lionfish while using a pole spear, a Hawaiian sling, or handheld net, or a spearing device that is especially designed and marketed exclusively for lionfish. If you get stung, treat the wound by immersing the area in hot water for 30 to 90 minutes and seek medical attention as soon as possible. Although complete eradication is not likely to given the current range and distribution of the species, localized control is possible through consistent and sustained harvest pressure. To learn more about lionfish evasion and what you can do to help, visit myfwc.com/wildlife habitats and click on non-native species.
All right, in the Captain Harry's Fishing Supply Southeast region, we have Captain Jimbo Thomas. Jimbo, the Southeast isn't really known for its redfish. However, one could find some decent-sized reds if you knew where to look. Is that right?
That's correct. Now, as anybody that fishes down in this area knows, the Southeast region isn't exactly known for its spectacular redfish action. In fact, the only area of the region that they are caught on a regular basis is along the western shoreline of Biscayne Bay from Snapper Creek south to Card Sound Bridge. And most, if not all, of these reds are the byproduct of a redfish release program that took place sometime in the mid-90s. And that's when they released over 1 million redfish. And some of those released redfish have hung around, and they've since grown up to 25 pounds or more. Now, that same area of Biscayne Bay that these redfish are hanging out, it's also prime bonefish territory. So a lot of the reds are found and caught while people are fishing for bonefish. And just like redfish found in other parts of the region of the state, they will eat live shrimp, jigs, and flies. But otherwise, from Snapper Creek north to Lake Worth Inlet, the rest of the region, redfish are rare in the incidental catch. Now, I got a picture here, and this is Roger Berry from Guernsey Channel Islands. I don't know where that's at, but he had a good day fishing. He had 3 bonefish, a permit, and he caught this bonus redfish, and he was fishing in Biscayne Bay with Captain Joe Gonzalez.
Wow, that's pretty cool, Jimbo. And you know, Joe Gonzalez, probably one of the premier guides in Biscayne Bay, and congratulations. That's a great, great fish. Good job, Joe.
That's a grand slam of some sort, I guess.
Yeah, it is. That's a Thomas Flyer slam, whatever that is.
Not quite. Sounds good.
Stay inshore. What else you got?
All right, well, what we do have in the Southeast region is tarpon. Now, most all of the inlets, they've been holding tarpon, and the further south you go, the better. Haulover and government cuts are seeing the most action, and the best fishing has been in the evenings and the early mornings using live shrimp, and they've been starting to eat some live mullet. There's been live mullet in the area, so they've been feeding on those pretty good as well. At Haulover, fish off the beach to the south of the inlet, and in government cuts, fish the beaches on both the north and south sides of the inlet, or fish the ledge at the tip of the south jetty. Both the incoming and outgoing tides have been good, and they've been tarpon up to 120 pounds. Now, moving offshore, the kite fishing on the edge has been excellent in the past week. Sailfish have been hitting live herrings, pilchards, and goggle eyes. We've been fishing in 80 to 250 feet of water throughout the region, and I've heard reports of boats having as many as 10 or more sailfish bites per day. And we've been getting a lot of multiple bites, doubles, triples, and even quadruples. There has been really good north current, and there's been decent colored water for the most part, but plenty of the sails we've also been catching in the green water. And we had some north wind on Wednesday. We even had some sailfish up tailing. So keep an eye out for tailing fish if the wind keeps out of the north. We have also caught a few sails on our deep line intended for kingfish. So obviously some of these fish are coming through down deep. Now the size has also been good. Since we released all these fish, we haven't really got an exact weight on any of them, but we've caught a few in the last week that we estimated to be in the 70 to 80 pound range. So that's a really big sail. And as we're fighting them, we know that we got a big one because they definitely take a lot longer to catch. Also, the dolphin fishing's been real steady all week. There's been quite a few schoolies, and they're chasing flying fish. in the 100 to 500-foot range, and there's been frigate birds hovering over them, pointing out the fish for us. Most of the fish we're catching on our live bait that we're fishing under our kites for sailfish. And what we've been doing is looking for the birds, and then we try to position our kite baits to intercept the fish as they travel to the south. Also in the Miami area, there's been a current rip with the sargassum weed in it, and that's been in the 400 to 500-foot range. And the first boats down that rip in the morning have been doing pretty good on dolphin. Now, where that rip's going to be tomorrow is another story. Now, we haven't exactly been killing these dolphin, but throughout the course of the day, we ended up with a halfway decent dolphin catch, especially for this time of the year. And most of the fish have been big schoolies with an occasional larger one mixed in.
All right, got a question for you, Jimbo. I know that you're wearing Costas now, and when you're talking about tailing conditions for those sailfish, give me a quick answer, but what do you look for? Is there a certain tint?
Well, the fish, especially if they're in the lighter colored water, and when you got your Costas on, it's going to make it a lot easier to see them. But you're going to see a dark shadow. These fish are going to be coming from the north, traveling to the south. And when we get some north current and north wind, you get a little swell. And for whatever the reason, these sailfish will come up in the swell and kind of surf down the waves. So a lot of times you'll see a shadow of the fish. And if they're in some lighter colored water, it definitely makes it a lot more obvious than if they're in the blue water. So the reason we call it tailing, a lot of times their tail will actually be out of the water. So you'll see this tail slicing down the wave.
All right. Well, that's a great tip from the Captain Harry Southeast region, Jimbo. Didn't mean to cut you off, but we got to get to the hot spots. All right, let's take a look at the hot spots from the Southeast region. Inshore, work of the inlets in the evening and early morning with large shrimp or live mullet for tarpon up to 120 pounds. And then offshore, live bait fishing on the edge and 90 to 100 feet of water is still the best bet for a mixed bag of sails, kingfish, and mahi.
All right, guys, on the other side of the break, we're going to tell you what you can expect on the Chevy Florida Insider Report. Don't go anywhere.
Imagine brighter futures, where doors open for Florida students every day. Imagine building a better tomorrow, where playing means we all win. Now celebrating $25 billion to education in 25 years. The Florida Lottery, just imagine.
The Johnsons, right?
Yeah.
Which house is yours?
The one with the Silverado up front.
So, what do you do?
Well, nice.
And Bingo was his name.
The Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest-lasting, full-size pickups on the road. For work, for life, Chevy Silverado.
Hi. I lost a big fish earlier today. Wasn't using suffix. It was about this big.
Look, slow down there, cowboy, okay? A fish in the lost it van, huh? You want your fish. Sorry, honey, that fish is gone.
Always use the best line, Suffix 832.
It's got the punch of a heavyweight and the pounds of a lightweight. Welcome to the main event featuring the new Yamaha 4-stroke F70. Tipping the scales at up to 142 pounds lighter than its 4-stroke competitors. That's a class-leading power-to-weight ratio, a haymaker of a whole shot, surprising mid-range punch, incredible fuel economy, and industry-leading innovation, performance, and reliability. The Yamaha 4-stroke F70. Reliability starts here.
If you like fishing or the history of fishing, then I have a must-see place for you. The IGFA Fishing Hall of Fame and Museum in Dania Beach. What makes the IGFA so cool is that they have theaters where you can learn about the journey of fishing, galleries where the kids can see antique reels or catch a big one. The Hall of Fame room has over 140 beautiful fish mounts, and maybe in the E.K. Harry Library, you may see a live alligator. For more family fun, go to IGFA.org.
Fish Stock, the total saltwater experience, returns to New Smyrna Beach this Memorial Day weekend. Bring the whole gang to Riverside Park for an incredible family experience. Tournaments, boat shows, seminars, kids clinics, and the Fish Stock 5K Fun Run. Visit fishstock.com to register for the Offshore Striker Tournament with an expected payout of nearly $100,000 in cash and prizes, or the Redfish Trout Challenge with an expected payout of $15,000 in cash, prizes, and much more. Fish Stock Memorial Day weekend in New Smyrna Beach. Don't miss this one.
Next week on the Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report, we'll be talking grouper. Make sure to check us out next Thursday, April 25th. You can catch the repeats on Friday and Saturday. Just visit Sun Sports and your local listings for more details.
You know, Dave, I can't believe that you started over here at the Jägermeister workbench, ended up in the box, and then back over here at the workbench.
I like being in a box. I'm used to it. I've been married for 20 years.
No, Dave, come on.
It's usually a box or a doghouse of some sort.
Doghouse, probably more accurate. Knowing you.
No, she's great. That's a bunch of crap. She's great.
But are you great?
No.
That's what we say about all the women.
I'm not
great.
Oh, now these two.
You're getting ganged up on here, Mama.
That's right.
Hey, don't forget
Bye.
Sportsman's.